Hello, this is Joe from Gardening Mentor, and in this video I'm going to show you how I've been making high quality organic fertiliser slash biostimulant for a few years now, and I haven't perfected the way of making it, and I'm not entirely sold on the sustainability of it, but I think it's really good. I think with a few tweaks, I think we'll get there. But anyway, let me show you how I'm doing it. So these are two of the boxes that I'm using to make the fertiliser in. And inside them, if I open the lids, you'll see lots of little mealworms. So there's different stages in here. These are the mealworm larvae. Oh, there you go. Typical mealworms that you see in like bird feed and stuff like that. These are the pupa. And these are the beetles, if I can get a hold of one. Oh, there we go. They're the beetles. And the fertiliser that I'm using is basically all of their poo. I think that they all, well, apart from the pupa, I think the larvae and the adults, which are the beetles, all eat and poo. So if I sort of pull some stuff away, you see this dark stuff is all their frass, their poo. If I look down here, so this is another box. This has just mostly got the adults in at the moment. You can see there's more of it here. This is a bit lighter in colour because the stuff I showed you just a second ago, that was quite wet. So I'll show you this box beneath this one. So put that to the side for a second. And this one mostly has adults in. It's easier to see what's happening here. So this is toilet roll. That's just because they quite like hiding underneath a bit of cardboard. And these are oats, which I'm using as both their bedding and their food source. That's quite convenient. I'm using oats because they're really cheap. You can use wheat or oat bran, and I would do, but actually the oats were even cheaper. Yeah, so that's basically it. You put them in there, and to give them water, you put in bits of or vegetable. So this is a bit of apple. It was apple. This is a slightly fresher bit of apple. I need to top up some apple now, but I'm going to do something else before I do it, which I'll show you. Yeah, so that's all you need to do, really. Put in a bit of oats, a bit of apple, and leave them to it, and they'll eat away and poo. So for this next stage, I'm going to have to use a dust mask because when we extract the poo, it's quite dusty, and I don't want to be breathing that in. So I'll show you this next bit now. So I've removed the toilet roll, and now I'm going to use this sieve. I've got a few different sizes, but there's a finer one and a larger one. But I think this sieve just does about everything that I need. So I'm going to scoop up the bedding, which includes oats, mealworm poo, mealworms, everything. And I'm going to just start sieving away like this. And you'll see underneath the mealworm poo is coming out. So after 5 minutes work, this is what I've got. It's quite a good return for 5 minutes. And I'm going to go on to the next batch, which is this box here. And like I said, this one is a bit too wet, really. But I think it's going to be fine. I've used this sort of stuff in the past, and the plants grow really well from it. But I'm going to keep the mealworms in this batch separate to the mealworms in the other batch for a few reasons. One is just because they're at different growth stages, and one is for disease. I don't want to spread disease from one box to another. So I'm going to give that a go now. So scoop them up. There we go. And start sieving. You can see the colour straight away, the difference. Like I say, I don't think it's a problem. I've used this sort of stuff before, and it works just as well as the other stuff. It might be like wines, when you have some dark red wines, some light red, and some white wines. That's how I see it anyway. And then, like I said, I'm going to keep these separate to the first batch. So I'll go in there for a few minutes. And I'll keep going. So after a few more minutes of sieving, we've got an extra layer of mealworm poo there, and if I scrape it away, you'll be able to see the lighter stuff underneath. Oh, there we go. So it's a mixture, and I'll blend that together. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to give this one more quick sieve just to get any live mealworms out, so they can go back in with their batch. And here we go. That's what's left after sieving. So there's some old bits of bedding, which are the oats, some live mealworm larvae. There's a live mealworm pupa there, and they're going to go back in with their batch. So there we go. This is the finished product, and it's looking really nice. So I've been calling it mealworm poo, and that is a big component of it. But there's also little bits of oat in there, which are the bedding, and they're going to act as a biostimulant or food source for microbes in the soil. It's also got the old bits of skin from the mealworms, and this is said to initiate a response by plants, which prepares them for any attack by insects. It's called the systemic acquired resistance response. Now, I don't know if that is how valid that is, but if anything, it's a food source for the microbes. So that's really cool. So I'm going to put this into a container now. So now it's time for the mealworms to go back in the boxes. So I've already put these ones back, and now for the second batch. Now you can see that these ones haven't got very much bedding left, so I'm going to have to top the bedding up. These ones have got lots of bedding, but they've run out of apples, their moisture source. So I'm going to have to give them some apples. So I'll do that now. Like I said, I'm using oats. These are really cheap. They were something like 50 pence per kilogram. It was something like that. I can't remember. So all you need to do is top it up. I don't measure it really. I just sort of do it by eye. If they run out, you can always top it up again, and then give it a little shake. Get it nice and evenly distributed. Here's some apple slices. So I'll put a couple in each one. There we go. One over here. Over there. And I've just cut some fresh toilet roll. So I'll put that over the top because they love to sort of be near the apple and under the protection of the toilet roll. So I'll enjoy that. Then the lids go back on, and I'm going to take them back to where they were, to where they live. So this is the room that I use for lots of my propagation. It's not very active at the moment because it's winter. So the lights are off there, only a few things down here. But these actually just go up on the top. They get sort of ambient light, and it's a normal temperature room. It might range between 17 and 20 degrees Celsius. And they're really happy there. Every few days I check if they need any apples, or if I just use what I've got available. So if I don't have apples, I'll use some old potatoes. And that's it really. So that's a bit of a glimpse at my mealworm poo fertiliser operation. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not entirely sold on it yet. The fertiliser itself is really good. I can vouch for that because I've been using it for years. It's more about sustainability. I'm obviously feeding the mealworms human edible food, which could be seen as a bit of a waste. I think there's definitely options for feeding them non-human edible food. So I'm going to be looking more into that in the future. The second reservation I have is because I'm a vegan and I'm looking for alternatives because lots of organic fertilizers come from animals. This fertilizer obviously does come from animals, but the mealworms are living their full life in that box. I'm not killing them. They're sort of just living there and breeding and eating nice food, and then I'm taking their poo. So I'm not really too sure about whether it really is vegan or not. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts if you have any. Anyway, so that's just a glimpse, and maybe I'll do a video in the future showing the actual, in more detail, how I do things. All right, see ya.